Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we have come back to you in all of our glory to share all good things wrestling and unfortunately some bad things too. I am the real ordeal, Ryan O'Regan. Above me, as always, is the sniper, Kyle Krieger, who's busy chewing something rather than throwing up guns. There you go. What are you eating?
Gum.
Oh, okay, gun, fine. And Major Day. That's all I'm saying. Boosie.
Thanks for making me laugh.
Well, I was about to say, why are you praying? Are you praying that I'm not going to mess up your
Uh,
intro there?
no, it's just that right now is a tough time for wrestling fans, to be honest with you.
Today is a hard day. Yes, as you can see from my bootleg cosplay. Um, Before we get into anything, which is our main topic about the Cassandro movie, and then later on with AEW Dynamite's aftermath, and leading into All in London, um, we as a wrestling community did hear some very sad news earlier today about one of the great legends of wrestling unfortunately passing away. And that would be the brutal redneck that he is, um, Mr. Terry Funk. If the picture would just freaking show up. Come, don't you dare. There we go. So, yeah, this one is surprising to say the least. It's one of those things where unfortunately, when wrestlers get to be a certain age because of their um, lifestyle and the job they do, it does become a bit of a thing. But usually, when it comes to wrestlers of Terry Funk's ilk, people that deal with like violence and such, and all the stuff that they've done in ECW and across the globe, and all the crimson masks they wear, you wonder, are they ever going to die? They almost seem immortal. Guys, your thoughts on Terry Funk's career in general?
I I'm gonna say like this. Kids growing up, I think part of the issue is the fact that we think we're immortal. And we think our childhood heroes are immortal. And when we hear somebody passing, it's it's uh it's like a it's like a hit in the gut, like real talk. It's like really like a hit in the gut, And Terry Funk was one of those people that we thought was going to live forever. Like we had people before him that passed that we thought was going to live forever, but the amount of abuse this guy been through, we would think he would live forever.
He is one of those that you just that you never would expect to pass away.
Yeah.
It's with the amount of abuse the guy went through in his career, the iconic matches, like the if you're a wrestling fan, you know the name Terry Funk.
Yeah.
And it's just whether it be as Funk or Chainsaw Charlie or whatever he was known as, you knew him, you knew of him. Like he was a mentor to so many of the wrestlers today,
Mhm.
and and like you could pick like a good 75% of them, and they will list Terry Funk as someone as like an inspiration to them.
Right.
It's his legacy speaks for itself, and it's like you knew it's like it's gonna happen eventually. It's just you never expect it when it does.
Right.
Well, yeah, especially when it happens. Apparently, social media caught wind of it before we did. Um, Apparently, there was a tweet put out by former rival and, of course, best friend of his throughout the years, Ric Flair. Uh, it goes like this: In my entire life, I've never met a guy who worked harder. Terry Funk was a great wrestler, entertainer, unbelievably fearless, and a great friend. Rest in peace, my friend Terry Funk, knowing that no one will ever replace you in the world of professional wrestling. And to an extent, he's right. I mean, there have definitely been a lot of people who have indoctrinated themselves into the world of hardcore.
Right.
That's pretty much where Terry Funk made a lot of his fandom, especially in ECW when he was like pretty much the elder statesman of that brand. When you had all these younger guys like Tommy Dreamer and surprisingly Sabu, as old as he is, coming up and making their names known on that. Terry Funk was already a name before that, as far as like the kinds of stuff he used to do back in the day before hardcore became his life. And there's just so many images of him with like, cattle prods and barbed wire bats and blood soaking down. And it's rare that you ever see like a clean cut picture of the man because that's what Funk was. Funk was just hardcore indoctrination with like, those I want to get myself a Terry Funk shirt now. I really do because they've got some of the funniest lines on them. I definitely want one, and that's why I have it put as everyone's favorite violent redneck uncle because that's basically how he was. That was his charisma. I mean, after training with under Dory Funk and with his brother Dory Funk Jr., it was just like this whole you know country badass sort of thing. Especially when you had rivalries with like Jerry Lawler and Memphis and stuff like that. He was Southern wrestling personified, and it's rare that you see anything like that nowadays. I'd say probably the closest person you could say to Dory Funk would be John Moxley, and that's saying something considering you pretty much had Terry Funk giving him an endorsement back when he was in WWE under Dean Ambrose. I remember there was that little montage thing that they did for I guess some hardcore match that Ambrose was going into, and you had Funk bring him the chainsaw, which I don't think ever really got used in the match, but it was like significant in that sense. I know there's a silence to this, but you know this would be the case for like any big name wrestler, to be honest, because at some point, especially with what's coming up this weekend with AEW, they're going to do something in homage
They're not-
to Funk.
I think
I
it's
wouldn't be surprised if all the major promotions did something for him because he was a part of like everything.
yeah.
It's great.
And it's tradition. Like it
Mhm.
wasn't no ill will from WWE using him. It wasn't no ill will from WCW, ECW, AEW, All Elite. It wasn't no ill will. This guy was a legend. Like he is welcome to any brand.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, there's nothing that you could really say bad about him. He was one of those guys that even in the back rooms, no one really had beef with him.
Yeah.
And I think it's because people realized, hey, this is a guy that'll shed blood for your company.
Absolutely.
You don't mess with that. You don't mess with that kind of loyalty to
You knew what you're gonna get.
the gimmick. You don't mess with that kind of like homage to what you've done and what you will do in the future. You let it go. It's kind of like Mick Foley in a way. People that will go ahead and do more and sacrifice more than you ever could. You got to give that respect.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
he lived and breathed the business.
right.
And
50 years roughly.
And that's 50 years of doing anything is
Right.
incredible. But 50 years of basically putting his body on the line in pretty much every match is mind-boggling.
Yeah, it's different when you have like a wrestler who's been doing it for that long, but they're kind of like they've had safe matches or they've had like just your typical stuff and they've just been in the business. But Terry Funk is a guy that he's retired and then he's come back, he's retired and he's come back, and at least half of those retirements he should have stayed retired. Let's be fair. He was doing this all the way into like what 2017, I think was his last match.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I don't think anyone would have blamed us if like 20 years ago he stopped
Absolutely.
just for his health and safety. But nope.
No, he just keeps
He
going.
loved the business. He loved entertaining the fans. He loved putting his body on the line just to put the fans first.
Yeah. So Terry Funk, there will be no one else like you. The Funks have a long history in wrestling, and may it shine as red as the blood on your face.
And one thing I gotta say, Terry Funk finally retired.
Too soon.
Too
soon.
Too soon, man.
Kyle.
Too soon, man.
Sniper. I know I'm calling you Sniper.
Wait.
Doesn't mean you got to kill him that quick.
Well, that's his name. He's Sniper.
That's his name. He's Sniper. Stop sniping. Sniper, stop sniping.
No sniping.
No, he don't miss.
Oh, now you can say stuff like that. I'll see how it is.
I was wondering before someone got that.
Speaking of things to get, we do have to talk about our main topic before the Dynamite clears for the evening, and that is the movie Cassandro. Now, I saw this trailer yesterday, and I was like, I remember a guy like this. I remember seeing him. I remember seeing Cassandro. But Cassandro is one of those wrestlers that's like, you know him by history, but you've probably never seen his matches. And that's simply because Cassandro was more of an international name, certainly in the UK and in Mexico. Rarely never crossed over to the States. And considering the role of an Exotico, I'm not surprised, considering how American wrestling and American television in general have treated characters like that. Now, did you guys see the trailer?
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, I want to say I want to see this movie. I'm going to be very happy when it comes on Prime because I don't know if it's going to be one of those things where it gets a wide showing in general theaters, but it will be coming to Amazon Prime September 22nd for anyone that wants to watch. And it's starring Gail Garcelle Bernal. Am I saying that right? Bernal? Yeah, I think so. Who you might know from like other Prime things like Mozart and the Jungle. You might have just recently seen him on Werewolf by Night, that MCU one shot that they had last Halloween. Great actor. Definitely one of those ones that you probably don't hear people talk about much. And he is going to be playing the main title, Cassandro, who was just a regular old wrestler who didn't really make it big in Lucha Libre, who then decided to use his natural homosexuality to become an exotico. Now, what an exotico is, for those people who don't know, is basically just a play gay for pay sort of wrestler. You know, that's they dress very flamboyant, they put on makeup, they do effeminate things in order to piss off their competitor and the audience. And unfortunately, they usually lose because they're just downright put down as heels. But Cassandro switched that up. Cassandro was pretty much the first exotico of his kind to really make a name for himself and get to the point where he was popular enough to be winning matches. Now, that may have pissed some people off, but I'm glad it's a story being told. And it's probably a story that could only be told now.
Right.
Guys, your thoughts?
It's pretty much...
By the way, that's what Cassandro really looks like. So a little bit thicker than Gal Garcia Bernal, but still, you get the idea. It's like, here's a picture of the two of them together.
So I'm pretty much saying, like, he's a wrestler that basically set the platform for other wrestlers to do this pretty much. Like you have dang, what's the wrestler at AEW?
Sunny
Sunny
Kiss?
Kiss.
Sunny Kiss.
Right. Well, here's the thing that I really do want to kind of like point out in regards to this, because you can't exactly say that American wrestler or American wrestling companies
Mhm.
have been so kind to exoticos, or at least wrestlers who do that same kind of gimmick. If anything, American wrestling has kind of perverted the nature of it.
Right. Because it was technically frowned upon because of the fact that wrestling supposed to be masculine,
Oh yeah.
strong. The
Some
Arnold,
may say very McMahon minded.
correct.
You remember the Billy and Chuck gimmick?
Oh, I have that image. I was going to bring up that image.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, that's not it.
No.
Hold
Nope.
on. No, that's not it. That's it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, when you had Billy and Chuck with their manager Rico, who
Mhm.
himself turned into an exotico later on after he was done with 3 Minute Warning.
Mhm.
They had them play off like they were in a relationship, to the point where they fake were going to get married, until Chuck was like, no, we don't want to do this. Rico put us up to it. I'm like, wow, we're really going with this.
Yep.
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 But yeah, that's the thing. It's like when you were a male wrestler and you were given, like, I hate to say it, a homosexual gimmick, you almost got touted around as a heel. You look at the Gorgeous George, or
Goldust.
even
Goldust, yeah.
Goldust, which I think I have his picture somewhere. Yeah, there it is.
And
Goldust was like super perverse, super feminine.
Velvet.
Probably more so in his later years when he was like teaming up with like Luna,
Mhm.
and he had like gimp outfits on and everything. That was like way too Attitude Era.
The lingerie match with them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Vel-
it was bad. It was really bad. Although that's the funny thing with like AEW, they don't really play into that, and yet they have someone like Sunny Kiss. They have a wrestler like Nyla Rose, and they don't do that sort of stuff. They just actually play into, they are comparable wrestlers.
Right.
And if someone wants to go ahead and use their sexuality for their own persona, like Sunny Kiss does, they're allowed to.
Mhm.
Now, take for example someone else like Orlando Brown. I think it was Orlando Jordan. It was Orlando Jordan. Yeah, this guy
Yeah.
on TNA, they made him go ahead and just go completely by. Let me just zoom in here. Wearing
Keep
this
on
cross the
zooming.
line tape with two valets who he would make out with before each match.
Of course.
This was a gimmick that did not last long.
It's one of the gimmicks that's featured on Botchamania and Wrestle Crap.
Right. And it wasn't so much him, it was just that it wasn't well received.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, to be fair, you compare it to his work in WWE when he was working under John Bradshaw Layfield,
Yeah.
and he was a U.S. champion, where he just pretty much seemed like he had like his little boxer gimmick, and he was just like JBL's gopher or a handy boy, whatever you want to phrase him. But that's what he was. He was his left hand. Here, he's his left hand and his right hand. And the thing is, he is gay. So, for all intended purposes, if this was something that he wanted to do, fine. But I almost feel like TNA came up with the gimmick to really like just push the envelope.
Right. That's why they got crossing the line.
Yeah, but
It wasn't, let me say something. It wasn't well received because I don't know if it was him making the decisions or TNA making the decisions. And sometimes we wish we had somebody like him so we could have the discussion, so we could get a clear understanding of who idea was to do something like this.
right.
And couldn't they went a different direction in a way where it could have been respectable for him and his and the way he was going with it. If that's the best way, if that's a good way to put it.
Well, yeah, because you look at like past Exoticos, like
Mm-hmm.
Adrian Adonis, and ironically, um, uh, Adrian Bandit, Adrian Street. Sorry.
Mm.
Both of them were pretty much Exoticos in America, and they were frowned upon, but they worked heel. That
Mm-hmm.
was the idea. That's why you did the gimmick in order to upset people.
Right. Well,
Ironically enough, if you were a female and you chose to go gay for a storyline or a gimmick, it was almost applauded. One can only look at WWE and see everything that they did with Mickey James and Trish Stratus, Sable and Tori Wilson,
mm-hmm.
The
Tori
Attitude
Wilson
Era
and
in
Dawn
general.
Marie, um, Liv Morgan and Lana for a brief stint. You know, even Eric Bischoff with his hot lesbian action that he did that one Monday night. Like, that sort of stuff is pushed upon the audience for glees or jeers. And it, looking back, it's kind of bad. It's really bad.
Yeah, because it was.
So I'm kind of glad that something like Cassandro was actually going to be put out there and given some credit to the people that choose to do this.
Yeah.
Not something that's being forced, not something that's being pushed down the throat of, say, the audience, but people like Cassandro here who do it because this is who they are and this is what they want to display on the stage.
Right. And
Now, guys, will you go ahead and like? I know you probably have never heard of Cassandro up until this point.
no, this is my
No,
first time. Yeah.
that's kind of part of the point, of course. But considering who you have starring in the film, and I'd say the more shocking fact for probably a lot of people is you have someone like Bad Bunny
Yeah.
who's going to be co-starring in the film as Cassandro's lover or love interest eventually.
Hmm.
So hopefully that means a lot of eyes get on it. But guys, what are your thoughts? Is this a movie that you'll be watching? And if so, is it a movie that you hope lives up to the hype, or you're just going to see it because it's wrestling? Because I feel like a lot of people will do that. They'll be like, "Oh, it's a wrestling movie. I'll go and watch it."
No, because I'm not. I'm not a person that'll just watch any wrestling movie. But this one looks interesting in a way where you're curious about this character for a person that never heard of this person. So it's more of a history lesson for me for those to get an understanding of the art of being LBGT in the wrestling organization and how it's received and accepted or wasn't accepted back in the time where Cassandro was wrestling. So this is more of a history lesson, more
Okay.
so than a wrestling film. It's more of it's like a combination of both, but more of history to get an idea of how things are.
Right. People should understand that it's less like The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke,
Yeah,
and it really is more of like a biography.
correct.
Kyle, your thoughts?
Honestly, I'm in a similar spot as Davion there. It's like I'm not gonna watch a movie just because it's wrestling. But
Although we do know people that will do that,
oh,
Yeah,
absolutely,
totally.
and that's how you get movies like Ready to Rumble.
exactly. So it's like the movie definitely seems interesting. It's as it I just wonder like what direction the movie's going to be going.
Right.
So it's like, will it be will they play it? Will they play it true to the cuff? Will they try to dramatize certain aspects of it? It's like I hadn't heard of Cassandro before the other day anyway. So it's like it wasn't really on my radar to begin with.
Correct.
So I may end up watching it to see if it does live up to the hype, but and honestly I hope it does. But right now it really wasn't on my radar previously.
Right, and I can understand that because again, it's a character that again never really made it to the states. In fact, Cassandro was signed to TNA in the early parts of the 2000s, but he was fired before he got to make his debut. Now, you can draw your own conclusions as to why they would do that. He flat out said probably due to homophobia. And if we're talking early 2000s TNA,
Yeah.
no, I can see it. I can see it. You're talking about a brand who at the time was more focused on the drug-addled rejects of WWE and the beautiful people.
Right.
So, yeah, they definitely weren't going for that. And that was before they got Orlando Jordan to do his thing.
And that was the worst script ever. The worst characterization ever. My thing was with that, they could have sat down, figured something out. But to me, it felt like, oh, let's just play with this and see how it goes, which was a bad move. You could get a clear understanding, first and foremost, and see how it goes. Have the wrestler choose how to go about it. And sometimes I feel like that's the problem big time because they don't let the wrestlers create and also help them create a good character to do a story. Ozone layer, what a joke.
Yeah, his
Okay.
Orlando Jordan's like little ambiance area.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was one of those gimmicks that you just really want to forget about,
Right.
or laugh about because, like I said, that's what Botchamania is for. That's what Wrestle Crap is for. All those sites are for, and it's like kind of like the Shockmaster.
With his trip.
Yep. Now,
now a perfect gimmick that. All right, this is what happens when you.
Wow.
Russo had like one good thing, and then it just.
Yeah.
Hold on. I just need to get this image together here.
Just keep zooming in.
Yeah.
It's like
that's going to be a screenshot right there.
What were you thinking? Like, and that was during the time when Vince Russo was with TNA, right?
Oh yeah. I would believe so.
At some point, you think it had to be his fault because it looks like he just said, "Yo, I like the idea, but let's cross in the line and just do something art.
Go for
like fashion.
Going for the extreme factor. Going for shock value.
Yeah, and you're like, but you got to understand your audience. You got to understand at that time who you're dealing with. And also, you got to make your wrestler feel comfortable.
Right.
Yes.
And that's the biggest thing because, first and foremost, he's a LBGT character or LBGT person, and they like to be respected for who they are. So it's all about putting input and also reciprocating the input from the person that's playing it. It's just like acting.
Yeah.
You have
it's like it needs to be done well. Like
right.
It needs to be booked well. It needs to be done well. And it never has been in the US.
Right.
Because... It's like as we mentioned, it's like we got it's like as you mentioned, they've always been played as heels. It's like, and it's always been like Dino Bravo, Gold Dust, Billy and Chuck. It's like that. It's like it it always feels off.
Now I will say this: the only thing WWE had correct, and they did him right, but he just had some messed up issues, was Velveteen Dream.
Yes.
Fair.
They
Yes,
did
the characterization of Velveteen Dream was probably the first time outside of maybe Sunny Kiss, even though Sunny Kiss doesn't get enough airtime,
Yeah.
where you actually saw that a feminine flamboyance played up almost to the point of like, diva-ness.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked. He had
Right.
kind of like a Prince sort of appeal.
Yeah,
And I
and
think that's what really worked
that's
for him.
basically what he was doing.
Yeah.
He was being Prince.
which was a smart move.
Absolutely.
Because how many people like Prince? How many people thought Prince was?
I mean, he did what he did with all the see-through and the sequins and everything, but he
Yeah.
was laying pipe. Like, Prince was that dude.
Yes, but people,
That's why Dave Chappelle made, like, that whole thing about him.
Blouses.
Shirts versus blouses, yes. All right, Prince was just that guy.
Right.
His performance during Super Bowl, he was just that guy. So if you're gonna do anything, you see what works and you go with it.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it was tied to a person who maybe did some questionable things and who is pretty much outed in the industry. But I would not be against the gimmick coming back. As a matter of fact, before we get into Dynamite, just real quick, would you, since Cassandro is still working to this day on the independent circuit, would you want to see him, after the movie has come out, make an American debut?
Yes, and I will probably say, probably as a manager. If
I could see that. I could see that.
yeah, because maybe I could see this as Sunny Kiss manager.
Well, it doesn't necessarily need to be Sunny Kiss.
No,
I'd say
it
there were
doesn't
just as many.
necessarily have to be, or it could be what's her name? Crap. From team.
Who?
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 Besides Vicky, we could have Cassandro as Nia Rose's manager.
Okay, I could see
That
that.
could work.
I wouldn't necessarily say pigeonhole it to somebody who is in the LGBTQ community, because Cassandro is very prominent in Lucha Libre.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You could easily have them work with somebody like Death Triangle if you really wanted to. Imagine Penta and Rey Fenix with Cassandro in a managerial role, and every just so often he does like some slash stuff, like maybe slap somebody's butt when they're on the turnbuckle. And just that wasn't me. No. I mean, because here's the thing: AEW is probably the only place I could think of where Cassandro would really work in America.
It could.
And as of late,
but it needs to be done right.
It needs to be done right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. As of late, they've really bolstered their luchador, signings with Vikingo, with Matador, Bandito. You have these big lucha names coming over to the brand. So why not use that to usher in a Cassandro?
I think AEW is going to welcome Cassandro. Regardless.
I would hope so. I really would.
Welcome. Yeah, they at least try to welcome everyone unless they say anything bad about CM Punk, I guess. But
yeah,
dude, with as much drama as CM Punk causes, I think Cassandro would be like an avid fan, because Cassandro's been there and done that when it comes to like making controversy, making people feel uncomfortable, and yet still putting on a damn good show. So I feel like there's some synergy there. I do.
So I pretty much can't wait for the film, and I will probably critique it. Oh wow!
I was gonna say you
Where
missed
were you last week?
Yeah, I was gonna say you missed the discussion last week.
Really, Riley? Really? Really?
But all right, so Cassandro, again, coming out in theaters on September 15th, hitting Amazon Prime a week later on the 22nd. Go ahead, check it out. Once you see it, let us know what your thoughts on the movie are. I will certainly be checking it out. Certainly, I hope Day and Kyle will be doing so as well. But we do have to get to Dynamite.
Yes.
It is still going on.
Crater Fest, as it were.
It is still going on right now.
Really, what's the big match at the moment?
Right now, you got the Hardys against Aussie Open. Looks like they are finishing out the show, barring a run-in or something like that. So yeah, like I got it on my other monitor right here, so I am watching the ending. It is basically a bit of a spot fest. Ooh, Jeff took a bad hit. Here come all the double teams, and boom. So looks like, yep, Aussie Open beats the Hardy Boys. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Well, we kind of expected that because they're going to be very necessary.
Yeah,
for the
and
opening of
they're
All
also
In.
having the Hardys job out to people too lately, which kind of sucks. But
yeah, but when you have someone like Jeff, what are you going to do? You know, you can't put too much responsibility on the Hardys because there is a very good possibility that one half of them may drop the ball. It's nice that Jeff's working, but would I trust him with anything important? No.
Well,
once bitten, twice shy, 10 times. That's on me.
Basically, they're building up Aussie Open versus MJF and Adam Cole. So yeah, you knew they were going to win, unfortunately, or there'd be some sort of interference or shenanigans. But nope, they beat the Hardys clean to end the show.
Right, and it was a pretty good show as far as things going on for All In.
Ruby Soho actually got a win.
Yeah,
it's good for her.
Very happy about that. And yep, closing out the show, they got MJF and Adam Cole, baby, popping in.
Jeff knows what I'm talking about.
So yep, they are still going. Yep, like I said, show's still going, so can't really do the recap until the show is over. But we can.
No, but we can talk about stuff that happened earlier in the show. Okay. Like for instance, anybody that knows anything from the dirt sheets, you know that they had talked. Tony Khan had said that there were going to be changes to come before All In happened. Some things would be added, some things would be taken out. Changes always happen, and cards subject to change, like they always say. Mm-hmm. And we did see that Rey Fenix was taken out. We knew he wasn't going to be able to go because that was actually mentioned earlier in the week, probably even over the weekend. Nothing major like what's going on with Cash Wheeler, but I think it was due to visa issues.
Right.
Yep. Those tend to have a way of popping in at the worst possible times.
Right.
But yeah. So so basically, the opening match of the show was Moxley versus Rey Fenix, and but the thing is, they had it so that Moxley wins by ref stoppage. That's how they pulled it off.
Right. So no clear advantage, disadvantage. Although we did get to see who are going to be the people pairing up with them against Penta, Orange Cassidy, and the Best Friends and Eddie Kingston. So that's 5 people right there. It's going to be the Combat Club versus Santana and Ortiz.
Yep, Santana.
They made their reappearance tonight in grand fashion.
Santana has returned. Yep. And they take Penta and Eddie out, and then they flee when the Best Friends showed up. So yep. So it's basically had a bit of the kerfuffle. Then you had the kerfuffle. I like that word. A hullabaloo. Hullabaloo and
a row, as the British say.
All right. But yep. Did they say if it was a full sellout?
I don't know if they've said anything yet because I do think they are still selling tickets.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if we're talking about whether or not it is more than WrestleMania or anything that they've posted as that such, yeah, I think it's up to that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
So
definitely
now
over
this,
80,000
it's
and still
huge.
growing.
It is huge, which is awesome. Now I do know that it has set a record for Wembley. So this is really good for AEW.
Right.
It Yep, it surpassed like a lot of like the
Oh,
big WWE events. Like I believe Jeff in the comments said SummerSlam '92, which is crazy, being
Right.
that it was in the in the Coliseum basically. But yeah, so
but yeah, you're seeing
this is their biggest event in AEW's history so far. And you know what? I think that is great, and
Right.
I really hope they knock it out of the park because
Yes.
they they have their opportunity.
They,
They sold enough that this is now their true opportunity, and if they knock it out of the park,
mm,
could be good things.
right.
But to continue on, we also had Darby Allin and Nick Wayne versus Mogul Embassy, with Darby Allin and winning by
oh,
pinfall with a European clutch from Wayne on AR Fox. I'm surprised they're having Fox take the pin.
Right.
Yeah, I was surprised about that one.
well, it becomes a question of what they're going to do with him for the future because he just came with the Mogul Embassy, and now they're just kicking him out. It's like,
Yeah, and after the match, Strickland basically turned on him,
yeah, he got let
basically
go.
calling him a loser and all that jazz. It's like every time he gets the opportunity of a lifetime, he blows it. So it's yeah, it's like AR Fox was a big addition to AEW, and they're having him like lose a lot.
Mm,
I guess yeah, turn him a face, sure.
Yeah, it's one of those sympathy vote sort of things because
Yeah.
now you're putting him in the line side of like not just Swerve, not just Cage, but now also Christian and Luchasaurus who have decided to insert themselves into things with Darby.
Hmm.
So it kind of becomes like one of those things like the enemy of my enemy is my friend
right.
now.
I guess.
Yeah.
So it should be interesting. I just it's like I want AR Fox to do do well. Because it's like I'm a fan of his, and it's like you see him on AEW, and you even as a heel, it's like you want him to have good matches. It's like you want to see the storyline advance well, and then it's like he gets jumped or he just loses clean, or it's like the hell. It's like who's
See,
doing this booking?
See, Jeff, I don't know if that would be something they would do for AR Fox. AR Fox doesn't really come off as the kind of guy who's like, see, guys, see, I can be a part of the gang, you know? It's like, love me, look at me. No, that's something that you would see with like Jericho versus Osprey.
Yeah.
I think you'd see something like that with like maybe Sammy Guevara coming in and doing like help and whether or not he gets acknowledged, that'll be a different story because that I wasn't hot on Jericho versus Osprey to begin with, but after tonight with their little tete-a-tete and Jericho slapping the taste out of Will Osprey's mouth, like I felt that. I'm good with it now.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what? It's like you're disrespecting a veteran and you're acting like you're God's chosen one to the wrestling organization. And it's like, okay, remember, you're still new to America and you just got here.
But is he
And,
glorious?
and you haven't faced the epitome of AEW or WWE. So, Will, chill out.
Though to
Yeah,
be fair, he's had a lot of good accolades lately. He did
Yeah,
mention,
you can
beating
have.
Okada, being Omega, and now to beat someone like Jericho, who does have that worldwide appeal, not just in the States, but especially after his run in New Japan, he's one of those guys who's on the international radar.
Yeah,
mm-hmm,
now
absolutely.
it's good calling out Jericho, but you got to do it with respect, and the respect is not. Yeah.
I'm sorry, hold
yes
on.
and no.
No.
It depends on the version of Jericho that's there.
Yeah,
It's like
it's dealing with
if
mental
it's
crisis.
if it's the Jericho that we have right now, you don't need to throw respect at that because that's part of the character.
Right.
If it was like say like some like Jericho after he like retires and then pops back to like a year 2030 or something like that, and it's then you do like you could do the respect angle because that's what the character calls for.
If it was Jericho still using the light up jacket, then you respect.
You respect the jacket.
You respect the jacket. Yes.
No. Why do I have a feeling it's going to be the painkiller Jericho coming at Wembley Stadium?
What, emo Jericho? Is that what you mean?
Yes. I can see that.
Yeah,
Basically.
it did start with Lawler and Kaufman. That's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
You know, it's a matter of respecting the business, respecting the brand,
Mhm.
respecting the name. But
It's
Jericho is one of those people that
Yeah.
you just saw all the people that were a part of his appreciation society walk out on him. So why are you going to respect him when the people who are supposed to appreciate him
Exactly.
don't even appreciate him anymore?
It doesn't call for it with the character at this current time.
No.
If the character was more like a realistic, I guess, character, then yeah, you do like the respect angle of the new guy versus the aged grizzled veteran, etc., etc. But no, not with this current form of Jericho. No, you will turn up the disrespect just because it makes for better storytelling.
Well, here's the thing, though. We also did learn today that Fozzy will be playing Judas live at Wembley Stadium.
That'll be cool.
So, I mean,
Well,
if that's going to be
you
Chris's
mean
entrance and he's coming in all Fozzy it up, which version of Jericho are we going to get?
I was gonna say it's like what it should be. It should be the multiverse of Matt Hardy versus the multiverse of Jericho.
No. Painkiller.
Just different personas each match.
Painkiller.
They could literally throw him into the lake of reincarnation, and he'll pop up as a different character each time, and it will be glorious.
Painkiller.
No, he comes. No, you know, no, he's coming back since Fozzie's playing. He's going to come out as Fozzie Bear. Waka
Dude,
waka,
come
bitch.
on.
Can you take it? Can you delete him, please? Delete. I'm saying he's going to come out as Painkiller. It makes more sense.
Oh, by the way, speaking of people who have come back, Billy Gunn came back, baby.
He did.
Good.
Billy Gunn Gunn is alive.
Do it, Day. Do it.
Sesame Daddy.
There you go. All right. Yeah, so it's going to be the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn one last time, possibly, against the House of Black.
Retirement match.
Well,
But okay, we already knew that whole Billy Gunn putting the boots off in the ring. We knew that was storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Could you possibly conceive this match being the last one for Billy Gunn, considering it's going to be at All In?
For AEW, perhaps. Because it, as mentioned before, it is a record-breaking crowd. This would be a moment that could work for that. That would have that meaning. That would have that weight. That would have the gravitas to it, rather than just say on a random episode of Dynamite.
right.
So having him like leave the boots in the ring after All Out, after the historic crowd, that could work. That absolutely could work. And you know what? It'll actually feel like it means something.
Right.
Basically, either way you go with it, it's a win-win for Billy Gunn, because if he does lose the match with the Acclaimed in Wembley, and you decide that's where you want to go out, there isn't going to be a retirement more significant unless it's like Ric Flair being taken out by Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania.
and Billy Gunn don't got that. So it's like
But
he is a well-known name in the business, but he is not like Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels level.
Right.
So it would
right, but
be
if you were going to do it at
yes.
any
This
time,
is one of them.
you do it with most eyes on you.
Yes.
No one else will have
Absolutely.
that claim.
Absolutely. So it's like you want to do it at like an event like this, or like you would want to do it at like a SummerSlam, or you want to do it at a WrestleMania. You want to do it on a big time show, as you said, with all the eyes on you. Even if it's not a main event match, it's still a major event.
Right.
Now,
So
on the reverse of it, if they happen to win, they become the trios champions
they do.
on what is the biggest stage of all time.
So
And that's probably going to not just elevate the Acclaimed, it's not just going to elevate Billy Gunn, it's also going to elevate the trios titles, which, let's face it,
mm-hmm.
are probably one of the titles in AEW that doesn't get enough light shined upon it.
Right.
It does not. No, absolutely right.
So we need to put some respect in that title.
We do. And this adds to the gravitas of it.
So I'd say this is a perfect match for this card. Now, mind you,
is.
it is already a pretty stacked card. Like, if I go through and I see exactly what is supposed to be on this thing, I did take a screenshot of it earlier. So you have MJF and Adam Cole opening and
Baby!
closing the night. Opening against Aussie Open for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship, which, let's face it, they're not winning that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. They're not
Yeah.
going to be shown on Ring of Honor pay-per-views or television. They are too important for AEW to be doing like the multitasking.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm gonna say they're gonna do it in a way that they still look good for the later match. Like, I really think it's gonna be Roderick Strong and the other team gonna interfere.
Right. Which we didn't see tonight, and we already saw that there was like tensions brewing between
Little
the two
friction.
men, especially at the close of Dynamite when
Yes.
you had like that missed kick. MJF checking on his brass knuckles from William Regal in his pocket, you know.
Yep.
He's set, he's ready, but they still went ahead and hugged it out.
Yes, they did. So they're playing with the emotions to close. Yes, they played with the emotions to close out the show, which we never really were able to get into yet. So, but yeah, so overall it was a good match. Knew the Hardys weren't going to win, but the post match was the setting of the stage.
Right. Now, as far as other matches going on, we already know we've got Chris Jericho and Ospreay. We've got the Blackpool Combat Club versus the amalgamation of Eddie Kingston, Penta, Orange Cassidy, and Best Friends. We've got the Elite. I think Kenny Omega, Hangman Page with Kota Ibushi versus Bullet Club Gold and Takeshita, which that already seems pretty stacked. You've got the women's Fatal 4-Way for the championship.
I'm calling it, like I said,
Saraya
is going to win at Wembley Stadium, and that's going to make a huge pop, and that's where that money's going to be.
That would be nice.
Possibly.
Love me some Saraya.
I would still like it if she'd have retained. I would be just as fine if Toni Storm won it back.
Not as much with Toni Storm. I would rather it be either a retain or Saraya winning. Those are the two outcomes that I'd be.
So no one's giving any credit to Britt Baker.
She's just a stand-in for the
She's there.
Wow.
Well, she at this point she's like Charlotte. She's just there, and she will always be there.
Fair. It's just a shame considering how much she carried the women's division.
She did,
especially during the pandemic.
Yes.
No,
she did.
We're not knocking any credit for her for that. It's just the fact that this is a very important stage for Saraya.
Mm-hmm.
This is the opportunity of a lifetime to basically be in her home country, winning the title
as her return.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like she's been out of the ring for a while.
And for her to win,
that would be the way to get her to return. Absolutely.
Understood.
And
Understood.
being that AEW isn't WWE and their whole constant if you're in your hometown you're going to lose mentality, it could go either way.
Yeah. But I really feel she's going to win this one. This is putting some respect back in her name, her legacy, her family, to do something across the pond where her hometown is, and then win it.
In it to win it.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. It's just, my thoughts on Soraya. I love her dearly, but she is more injury prone than any of the other people. So
She
it's
is.
She is,
But do you think it will be like a last hurrah then?
Exactly.
I mean, if Soraya ends up retiring at AEW All In, I mean, that sounds like a
I
better
wouldn't say
story than her winning
retiring
the
at
belt.
AEW, but basically starting the retirement tour.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I could see it in that sense as well.
Yep.
Try to milk it for a little bit longer.
Exactly.
We still got All Out in 2 weeks
Mhm.
after this. To
Exactly.
really just go ahead and try to progress things.
Yes.
Speaking of progression, there's also FTR versus the Young Bucks for the AEW World Championship, Tag Team Championships.
I think
CM Punk versus Samoa Joe, which was solidified this past weekend for the real World Championship. That's actually what they're calling it. The real World Championship.
I want Samoa Joe to win. Pure and simple.
CM Punk, put some respect in his name.
Don't get me wrong. I like CM Punk.
What'd you say, Kyle?
I like Samoa Joe
What'd you say,
more.
Kyle?
Get that whatever the hell that thing is away. You don't even have pupils, for God's sakes.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
You are lies. Nothing but lies. In fact, you aren't even real. You're just a figurine.
He is real.
In our hearts.
Real.
But no, I am hoping for Samoa Joe to take the win on this one because I am a big Samoa Joe fan, of course. So, and I do love what he did in the Twisted Metal series.
Yes.
So it's like, and like Samoa Joe could literally just he has the most disinterest. He's like more disinterested in the match than Orange Cassidy is, and he still looks like he will just destroy you. I love that character. Joe's gonna kill you.
But
now,
I'm a Punk fan.
The only other thing I know of match-wise is obviously what we saw with Darby Allin, and I don't know what that match is going to be right now. Is it going to be Christian and Swerve, or is it going to be Swerve and Brian Cage?
I thought it was going to be like, yeah.
I'm not sure where they're going with it. That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, with the whole AR Fox thing, it really depends on how that plays out first. Because if it plays out with AR Fox still staying with them, then Fox will be with Strickland rather than Christian, and then Christian will be with Cage.
Right, but it's
Christian
also
Cage and Brian Cage.
I don't know what they're doing. They're not. No one's saying anything about what they're doing.
Yeah, it's that match kind of feels like a filler match.
Or it could be for the
bathroom break on the card.
Wait, what titles do is it Luchasaurus that got the title or Christian Cage?
It is Luchasaurus. That's why everyone says it's the self-proclaimed TNT champion. Because Christian's basically saying, he carries it around like he has it. But it's Luchasaurus that's the one that does all the heavy work.
Right.
Which is pretty much his entire character, even with Jungle Boy. So his character has not changed.
No. Just as alliances do.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if Christian is a part of the match, or if Luchasaurus is a part of the match, or if Brian Cage is a part of the match. I just don't know who's taking over for AR Fox. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And does this mean AR Fox is now going to try to team up with Darby? I don't know.
Could be interesting.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Out of all that we got tonight, all of the questions are really leading on this particular match, more so than any of the other ones. I think all the other ones, it's pretty set forward what's going to be going down this coming Sunday.
It it kind of feels like they're just that they're just scrambling everything up just to see if anything sticks for the future. It's like it literally is like the kind of like what WWE does with the draft every so often. It just scrambles everyone up and just so they can get new storylines out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't really been too invested inside their storyline right now. Because it's like I see it as a scramble. So, but yeah,
Understood.
yeah. But so I do got the question for you. So, are we going to be doing like our picks, quick picks for All In?
I think we should.
I don't know
And let's
because
keep
as
track
of
of
right
it this
now,
time.
we don't even have a solidified card.
Oh, okay. So
We got most of the card.
yeah,
We have most
Well,
of the card, yes,
so-
but we
let's
also do
and they
have
can't really change anything before then.
right. But here's the thing:
There
we
aren't
have
any more shows.
Rampage coming up on Friday, and we still have Collision on Saturday. We still have 2 AEW shows before the main event. So anything could be changed. We already heard it from Tony Khan. Things will be added, things will be subtracted. We've already seen that tonight. They added
Fine
Santino, they added Ortiz.
with what they have right now. If they change the card up, we'll count that one as a wash.
I think we wait until after Saturday night. If we want to go ahead and post our picks, we do it not on the show here. We do it legitimately, black and white, clear as crystal.
We
on
need it
paper.
live.
we need a live, bro.
Live.
Well, do you know a place where we're going to be able to watch it live?
No, that's what I'm saying. We need to do our picks right now, live in what we have with the current card. If it changes, that match gets counted as a no contest.
Right.
Or you could even pick if it's going to get changed. See how your inner Nostradamus is working.
Okay.
My inner Nostradamus is hungry, if nothing else. All right, I want to go eat my dinner.
Yeah, mine's hungover, so that's not the point.
Now I will say this.
And hopped up on
really
cold medicine.
I really think if I was a betting man, but I'm sticking with my choice for the women's match, I would not be surprised if there's a 5th entry.
Okay. But would say surprise 5th entry be the winner?
I'm not putting my money on that one. I think it's just going to be the shock value.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well,
now the 5th entry, I will say, is either between. Oh God, what's her name? Darn it,
Monet.
I can see you really put a lot of thought into this.
I did, but no, not Monet.
Oh, not Mercedes Moné.
But that will be my second choice. But my first choice would be.
So how much partial credit are you getting for like your 5th
See,
choice?
this is what I'm saying. We just have to put it on paper and post it online.
No. I'm just putting it out there, but I really
makes for good TV.
Yeah,
that's good shit.
Who was the reigning TNT champion?
Oh, Jade Cargill.
I really think she will be the surprise 5th. Like they'll probably make a surprise person.
See, I wasn't even thinking Cargill. I was that she was the TBS champion.
You know, it's going to turn to a 6-woman match,
or it could be a 6-woman.
It's going to be a battle royal.
I thought you were going to go Thunder Rosa because she had the belt before Toni Storm did, and technically never lost it, even though they did have like that match to like solidify Toni Storm being the champion. But I could see Thunder Rosa coming back and being like, no.
Or that could be the storyline post Wembley.
Yeah. That could be it for All Out. Yes.
I'm leaning more for Thunder Rosa in All Out. But in terms of the women's title match, I think Sheeta's gonna retain, though. I want Saraya to take the title for that.
I'm gonna say Saraya gonna take the title. I'm calling it. Saraya's taking the title.
Okay.
And Thunder.
Are we writing this down?
I mean, I would assume Day has to because he was forgetting names before. So
whether I'm right or wrong, I'll take the L.
Right
But
or right?
it's recorded, so it
It's
doesn't.
recorded.
There you go. Close enough. We'll have Scott like cut.
Yeah, yes. Scott, you're going to have to scrub through 30 minutes while we give all of our picks. So this way you know all of our No, we're not going to do that to Scott. No. All right. No. No, you want to pick on this one match considering our affinity for the women involved? Absolutely fine. Go ahead, do that. I am saying we wait until Sunday. Once Saturday is over, we put up our picks prior to the event
Mm.
and we settle it that way.
Okay.
And people can go ahead and they can comment on what we've chosen and they can give their own list. As a matter of fact, folks, if you want to do that, definitely go ahead. Make sure that you're following Stream Punk Entertainment on all social media forums, whether it be Instagram, Facebook. Do we have a Snapchat yet? We should get a Snapchat. I know we got a TikTok, but we should get a Snapchat. And go ahead and let us know your picks for AEW All in London, as
The
we will
TikTok
be
is
giving
just Ryan doing the floss dance the entire time.
No, I refuse. I don't even floss my teeth. You're going to think I'm going to floss my body. Hell no.
Okay, and that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to end.
No. I'm not done. I'm not done. Don't be trying to bogart the return of like all this going on. No. Plus,
Dr. Teeth.
no, hey, I loved Muppets Mayhem, man. That is a great show. But outside of all things wrestling, I do also just want to go ahead and draw attention to the little QR code over here in the corner right next to Davion. That is pretty much leading to Stream Punk Entertainment's first big promotional thing that we're doing as far as MMA sports is concerned. Right here on Stream Punk Combat, we are offering ticketing to Danger Zone, which is a whole night of MMA fighting going down September 23rd at 7 p.m. If you go to that QR code, they point to the QR code. Thank you. If you go to that QR code and scan that, that will allow you early access to the ticketing, so you can go ahead and get a discount on that. Otherwise, it'll be $10 on the day of. And so if you are a MMA fan, which if you're watching us on Stream Punk Combat, you more likely are. Go ahead, check out what they're going to do over there. Brought to you by Moment. Go ahead, get your ticket for Danger Zone, and we will more than likely be joining you there because we are this channel and we have a responsibility.
Exactly.
Provided there isn't wrestling happening on that Sunday, we will be there.
We'll wrestle with our opinions. How about that?
Yes. Not with regret. That's a whole different channel.
So remember, it's Danger Zone. It's a full night of MMA matches brought to you in part for just $10, ladies and gentlemen. $10.
He is so reading that off the scroll on the bottom.
I hate you, Ryan.
10, 10, 10.
As I pull back the curtain. No. You don't say $10. You say $9.99. All right. WWE taught us how to do this.
Well, here's the thing is, we are not WWE, are we?
Exactly.
So we charge them an extra cent? What are you, mad?
We are a perfect 10.
10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10.
Oh, this is why you shouldn't give some fans microphones.
Hey, Ryan.
Yes.
10.
All right. On that note, again, we will be posting our picks. Do go ahead, comment your picks below in the comment section of this video or at Stream Punk Entertainment's Facebook channel or wherever else you can find us. Let us know what you're going to be watching. Let us know who you like. For Kyle, for Davion, and for myself, it's going to be a long weekend of wrestling. We are Jabronis United. Stay humble.